Hey, Jenica here with Slattery, and I want to talk about a misconception that's really bothering me in the sales world. I recently had a conversation with a salesperson at one of our prospect companies or client companies back when they were early days. And the salesperson said something really interesting. He said, well, I follow a little bit of this sales process and I follow a little bit of this selling system, but really each salesperson needs to, find whatever works for them. Then I was in a forum recently and I was asked, Jenica, how do you balance between having a sales process to follow and allowing the salespeople to really individualize their approach? Cut. There is a misconception out there in the sales world that somehow following a sales process is possibly very dry, very boring, very inauthentic, and it strips all personality out of the process. And it's coupled with this misconception that I'm a special unicorn rock star salesperson and I'm just going to do whatever works for me. And unfortunately, in a lot of companies, there is no sales process for salespeople to follow, and so they do end up doing their own thing. And naturally, the results are inconsistent. Sales is a process, is a division, just like any other division within an organization. There's manufacturing, there's engineering, there's operations, there's sales. And yes, there should be a sales process in place so salespeople know what to do. But there's this misconception that somehow the salespeople won't be able to be authentic and they won't be able to bring their own personalized selves to the process. And I just want to kill that misconception right now, because a sales process, first and foremost, should be what works for the company, not what works for the salesperson. That's really important. So I want to say it again. The sales process needs to be what works for the company, not what works for the salesperson, because the process feeds the forecast. The sales process feeds the forecast. That is the foundation for your sales forecast. Where is a deal in process? Where is the deal in the forecast? You know the likelihood of closure on the forecast based on where the deal is in your sales process. The biggest complaint we hear from CFOs at prospect organizations is we can't trust our sales forecast. That's a problem. You need to have a process that you can follow. You need to have a sales process that tells you where a deal is in terms of being, the likelihood of being closed. So have a process, okay? Have a sales process, but do not be afraid that it will somehow strip all the personalization and the personality of your beautiful salespeople out of the whole sale. Because imagine theater. People pay a lot of money to see actors like Ian McKellen deliver Shakespeare's lines that have been around for hundreds of years. Ian McKellen doesn't change the script, but he brings himself to the script. And following a sales process is like following a script. You know your lines, you know your blocking, you know the plot, you know where it's going, but you still, once you internalize those lines and you internalize the blocking and you know the plot, you know where it's going, you bring your whole self to the role. You bring your whole personality to the role, and it becomes an incredibly authentic delivery. So don't buy into the lie that if we follow a sales process, it's going to be so dry that our special unicorn rock stars won't be able to be themselves. No, 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 no. You need a process that works for the company because it feeds your forecast. And then the salespeople learn the steps of the process, the way master actors get their lines down, and they figure out the blocking and they figure out the role they're playing. And then once that's internalized, then they're able to bring their whole selves to the role. It will not strip out the individualization. It won't ruin anybody's approach. It can still be absolutely authentic and natural and also accurate in the forecast. So follow a sales process. You're not going to lose anything if you do. To learn more about what we do, click the link below. We would absolutely love to connect with you.